Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to yet another webinar of Steelman's Engage 2.0, a 5-day webinar series. On behalf of Steelman, I would like to extend sincere thanks to Ministry of Steel and Indian Steel Association for supporting this event.
Then again, I'll go for the interview.
Also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our esteemed sponsors, NMDC and JSW Steel. This session is on Indian iron ore production scenario outlook 2022, and I am Nishtha Mukherjee, your host for the session. I would now like to welcome our esteemed panelists, Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty, Director Operations, Odisha Mining Corporation, and Mr. A.K. Padhy, Executive Director, Commercial, NMDC. Welcome, sir. Let me now turn to our first panelist of the session. Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty has a total experience of 32 years in the mining and metal sector, involving companies like Tata Steel, AMNS India, and OMC. Over to you, Sabyasachi, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Nishtha, and good evening to all. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Your screen is also visible.
Okay. So my presentation will be in the 4 sections. First is Indian steel sector. Second, iron ore demand and production. And third is auction of the expired blocks. I mean, after this MMDR Act, amendment of the MMDR Act 2015, what are the blocks that has been expired out and how it has been auctioned in Odisha and how it has impacted the production of Odisha and during that period. And then OMC's plan for the future productions. Let us come to the first section, the Indian steel sector. Yeah. Indian steel sector, as per the NSP, the FY31 for the crude steel production would have been 255, with finished steel 230 million ton. But there is a dip in FY21 due to the COVID and FY20. So considering that dip, now we expect that at the rate of 7% GDP, and this steel demand will also grow as per the GDP, it will come to 212 million ton during the FY31. Now, if you see the consumption perspective, the consumption perspective at the rate of CAGR 7%, FY23 expected at 116 will be the consumption, and total consumption of the steel will be 116 million ton, and maybe by 2031 it will be 206 million ton. Now, if you consider the 24 million tons of the steel as an export, so it will come at 230. And again, the per capita we are considering now, FY20 it was 75 kg. Now per capita consumption is expected at the rate of 7% to 158. Price, and it will require for this total consumption of 206 million ton or 230 million ton, including the export, will require 10 lakh crores of investment in the NSP. Now, iron ore consumption, the iron ore consumption, accordingly, iron ore consumption will also increase in line with the crude steel. From the FY20, the iron ore consumption was 230. Now, it is expected at a rate of 12.5% CAGR. It will be by FY23, it will be 2,432. FY22, it will be 290. And the same growth at the rate of 5.15, it will be by 346. It is expected the iron ore consumption will be 346 million ton by FY31. Now coming to Odisha, Odisha always remains as a, you can say, 50 to 60% of the total iron ore production of country. So it was at the FY17, it was 51%, then balance 51%, and then by FY21, it was 52%. If you see during the FY20, the total production of India was 246 million ton, in which the Odisha contribution was 60%, which 146. This is a special 146 million ton Odisha produced because during that time, by 31st March 2020, most of the leases are going to be expired. So everybody, all the all the old lessees, they tried to catch up their EC quantity. So the total production became 146 million ton in 31st March 2020, and which is basically 60% of 246. In future also, Odisha's production will be somewhere around, Odisha contribution will be somewhere around 55 to 60% of the total country's production. Status of auction mine in Odisha. Odisha, see, there are 28 leases has been expired, out of which 22 mines has been already been auctioned, successfully auctioned, and 6 greenfield projects are also successfully auctioned. And out of these 22 mines auction, 2 mine has been given the auction, 2 mine has been given to OMC, and there are 6 greenfield projects are also auctioned. From the graph, you can say that Odisha is the pioneer, and Odisha is much ahead than any other state in the country as far as auction is concerned. It is very much successfully, it has auctioned all the 22 mines out of 28, plus 6 greenfield. Now, impact of auction in iron ore supply in Odisha in FY21. In FY20, the production was 144. 21 total production in Odisha was 106, and 22 was 109. This was because of, see, in FY20, the production 144 is basically due to the, as I told you, this is due to the expiry of the leases in 31st March 2020. All the lessees, old lessees, they tried to catch up their ECs. And 106, there is a drop in 26% production with respect to FY20, FY21. This is a basically intervening time from the new lessee to old, although all the leases has been executed in time, but there is a teething time in between. So there is a drop in the production 106, and FY22 it is already 109 till date in Odisha. We are expecting that it may go up to 142 approximately production in Odisha. So it will be catching up as per FY20. Now, if you divide this mine in the production as per the auction mine and non-auction mine and captive mine, auction mine production during the FY20 was 74%, 74 million ton out of 144. This 74 auction mine means the mine which are auctioned. Now, same mine which are auctioned in FY21, there is a drop of production of 68% due to the teething trouble. Because there is a new lessee, it will take his own, it has taken his time for preliminary arrangements and all these things. But now, till now, in the FY22, those auction mine has already produced 22 billion ton till January. So another February and March is left out for that. If you consider non-auction mine, FY20 it was producing 42 million ton. So if 42 million ton FY20 they are producing, and but in FY21 those non-auction mine has produced 51 million ton. And now this year it has already produced 48.5 million ton. In this 48.5 million ton, there are 2 mines which has been given to OMC, Jilin and Gwali is also included, which have produced approximately 8 million ton. And that has been taken out from the FY20, FY22 of this auction mine basically. In this 48.5 million ton, OMC production is also included. OMC's production was till January was 20 million ton. Plant production was 26.4 million ton. That has increased 31.8 million ton and 38.5 million ton till this time. Now there are EC expansion proposal for various places. Narayanmosi JSW has got an expansion plan for 10 million ton. Nuagaon again JSW expansion plan 20 million ton. Thakurani Arcelor with 7.99. OMC Gwali 5.7 to 30 million ton. OMC Jilin 5.7 to 10 million ton. Mohanty 2 to 2.41, Tata Steel 8 to 13. So there will be an expense additional capacity of approximately you can say 54 million ton. Additional capacity of 54 million ton to be added in Odisha. Now, if you see the share of mining leases is expected to reduce, merchant leases is expected to reduce in further. In FY21, induce 92, 9.7 and 19. Total 211. Now there is an expansion by the end user 15 million ton, which includes Tata Steel 5.5, JSW 2.3, and ArcelorMittal 7.2, 15 million ton. Then merchant mine, there will be increased by 28 million ton of OMC. This 28 million ton includes approximately your Gwali from 5.7 to 30 million ton, and drilling from 6.28 to 10 million ton. Then again, OMC has got 4 new non-working mines that are going to be Maspani, Khanban, Uchawali at the rate of 1 million ton each, and plus one mine is the Davuna Secretary, which will be having 3 million ton. So it will be having a 7 million ton. Then there are greenfield project current auction, which will be around 22 million ton. That 6 mine which has been already auctioned, and prior to that also there are 1-2 mines there. And expired leases, Thakurani, Koida, and Patabeda, this will give around 15.8. So by FY26, Odisha will have a capacity of 283 million ton. I am telling the EC capacity of 283 million ton by FY26. That is what in FY21 106.2 it has gone up to. By FY26 it will be around 226, or 200, by FY29 it will be 241. So on an average range, but FY29-30 Odisha will be producing around 240 million ton of material. Now let us come to the iron ore prices also. Iron ore prices are your red one. That red one, not red basically. This the orange one is basically the fines cost as per the IBM, and the lumps cost is the blue one. So it remains stable till March 2020, and from March 2020 to March 21, there is a sudden hike. This is due to the increase in the expiry of the leases. 31st March 2020, the leases has been expired. There, as my earlier slide says, there is a sudden dip in the productions due to the teething trouble. So the price of the iron ore has increased during this intervening period, and again there is a shoot up in the price from the May, because there is change in the policy. There is change in the MCR regarding the additional payment of 150% of the royalty for the mines which are either granted lease either after 215 without auction or extended the lease period, non-auction mine. So there is this additional burden has increased the price of the lump and fines some, but thereafter due to the weakness of the market has little bit and it has reduced, the price has reduced, but not to the earlier case. Earlier it was at the range of 4,000 and 2,000. Now still it is at the range of 5,500 and maybe 3,700, 3,800. Now OMC sales plan, FY22 OMC will reach maybe around 24 million ton. 23 our target is 37 million ton. By the end of FY27 will be around 70 million ton. If you see share of OMC in Odisha iron ore, FY17 it was 6%, 21 it was 12%, 22 it will be around 17% of Odisha iron ore, and 27 it will be around 31%. So 1/3 of the production from the for Odisha will be from OMC only. Right now it is hardly 16. Right now this year earlier it was 16%, 6%. Now it is approximately 12%. This year will be reaching to 17%. So Odisha will play a critical role in fulfilling the iron ore demand, and OMC in Odisha will play a much vital role for the iron ore demand for the merchant miner, as a merchant miner, for the steel plant inside Odisha, outside Odisha, and the MSMEs. That's all. Thank you from my side.
Thank you so much, sir, for that detailed presentation. It feels that like Odisha as well as OMC would surely increase the production as well as sales numbers as was visible in your presentation, and OMC will surely be an important role player in the Odisha iron ore industry, considering the ramping up of capacities as well as production and sales that you had mentioned over there. So just a quick question before you leave for the meeting. Any key developments that you want to highlight related to OMC, like which all deposits or ramp up in the mines we will be seeing in next 1 year? OMC in particular.
OMC, thank you. OMC is going for a start the 2-3 new deposits immediately. These are already basically old mine for which lessee was OMC, but it was under that 102 mine, which was stopped by Honorable Supreme Court. We have got the nod from the Supreme Court. We are going to start it by April. These are the 3 mines. Each mine will have a capacity of 1 million ton. Baspani, Kanban, Uchawal. So this will be addition 3 million ton at the rate of 1 million ton plus Dabuna Sekradi will be going for 3 million ton. Right now the EC is 0.3 million ton only. We are going to have the EC for 3 million ton. So this will be adding another 3 million ton, 3 plus 3, 6 million ton. And we are going for EC for Gwali 30 and Jhiling for 10 million ton. That will take a little bit time for both the ECs. But these 3 mine, which are going to be started new mine very soon. This will add 3 million ton and 3 million ton of Dabuna Secretary. 6 million ton is in the card. At the same time, recently we have got an EC for our Daitari mine, which was 3 million ton. We have got an EC for 6 million ton. So another from there also there will be addition of 3 million ton from that mine also.
Great. And sir, we keep on hearing few of the logistical concerns that crop in, especially in case of Odisha. So is there still issues related to logistics and material transportation, or the things have improved from the pre-COVID levels?
Yeah, things have improved from the pre-COVID levels in the sense that there are a lot of infrastructure. I mean, road widening and NH215, which was earlier NH215 has been made. Roads have been prepared and roads are widened, and that national highway is already most of the jobs has been done. And having said that, the logistics is a bottleneck, and for such a huge thing, we cannot depend on road infrastructure 100%. For that, OMC, I'm coming to the OMC, is going for their mechanized evacuations. In our Kurmitar mine, we are directly having the loading system directly into the rake conveyor from downhill conveyor, and it will come to the railway siding, and it will have the railway loading. From Gwali, we are going to have the mechanized loading to the conveyor belt of the our buyer. And similar thing we are planning for the Gandhamardan also for the mechanized evacuations. Although road transportation will not be 100%. It will not be 100% eliminated. Maybe 30% of the total product will be transported by the road. Balance 70% will be transported by the mechanized evacuation in all the places. Most of the mine in OMC. But yes, for Odisha, so to say in India, the logistics is a major issue. It is a bottleneck. We need to overcome this.
And one last question, sir, probably from my end, that we have already started auctioning good amount of volumes every month. Both fines and lumps auctions are now taking place in the same month. Roughly 1 million ton, I think we are already putting up in the auctions. So any change in the auction schedule, is it expected for OMC, or any increase in the auction volumes?
No, auction volumes will be remaining almost same. We will be going for the auction minimum of 30%, maximum of 50% of the total volume. Once our volume increases, automatically the auction quantity will be increased, because our minimum quantity will be 30%, maximum quantity will be 50%. And as far as auction schedule is concerned, we are doing the auction for the iron ore once in a month with a lifting period of 40 days. Earlier it was 2 months, once in 2 months. Now it is once in a month with a lifting period of 40 days. We'll continue to do it.
Got it, sir. And any other comment of yours that you would like to highlight on India iron ore production perspective, anything before you leave? I think there is one question. There is one question that has come up from the audience, I think. Will OMC continue its auctioning mechanism with this ambitious rise in production? Do you see it to be viable? Sabyasachi, sir.
Yes, we will continue to do the auctioning, because as per our LTL policy, 70% of the product has to will be given for our LTL state as on today's policy to our state to end user. Balance 30%, minimum 50%, maximum 70%, and sorry, minimum 70%. So, and the balance material will be given in the put in the nationally auction here.
Okay. And what would be the strategy for OMC for long-term linkages for evacuation of its tonnages of its 70 million tons?
We are working it. We are working on it. Because we may give the preference to the mechanized evacuation persons and buyers who are doing the mechanized evacuation. That is not yet frozen. So I cannot tell it now, but we are working on it.
Okay. Fine. And will OMC give preference for the pellet plant connecting OMC mines by conveyor? Any update on that?
That's what I'm telling. We are working on it, whether how to go for it by so that we can meet the NERI compliances also and minimum load on the road also. And the buyer should buyer who are having the mechanized evacuations, how they can be their interest can be protected also. At the same time, how the MSME interest can also be protected. OMC being a PSU, they have to see the industry. So we are working on it. Detailed working is going on for that.
Fine. Thank you so much, sir. I think we have taken up mostly all the questions that came up in the chat box for OMC and related to production volumes. I would now invite our second panelist to share his valuable insights. Mr. A.K. Padhy has an experience of 30 years where he has worked with renowned organizations like HCL and NMDC in various capacities. He has vast experience in the field of finance and commercial. He is currently holding the post of Executive Director Commercial and heading the commercial department at the NMDC head office, Hyderabad. He's looking after the complete sales and distribution of iron ore and other products of NMDC Limited. Over to you, sir, for your opening remarks.
Nishita, one thing, can I log out? I have to go for a meeting. Can I log out?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable
insight.
Thank you, sir. Padhy, sir, over to you.
Yeah, very good afternoon, all of you. I think I remember on Friday when I got the message from Vinamrata that I have to attend a webinar. I was already away from Hyderabad. So I requested her if she can reschedule the program. But she said, no, sir, you can join while we are traveling also. So now, right now, I am on the road actually. So I didn't have a presentation right now with me, but I can share some of the things which I've just scribbled on a sheet of paper. If you permit me, then I will just go through some of the important points. Just I will. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Yeah.
Please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, I am very much thankful to Mr. Mohanty. He has done a lot of work for me actually, while giving the outlook of the iron ore production scenario in India. He has mostly explained all the details. So what I can share here, I can just tell about the production ramp up plan of key miners in India. This during the pre-auction era, the merchant miners accounted for about 65% of the total iron ore production. Now, after the auction era started in 2020, the scenario has almost reversed. Now the captive miners are continuing to acquire most of the mines. But despite this shift, the merchant miners like OMC and NMDC have a greater role to play. Now, in my opinion, the captive miners will increase their production capacities and EC limits to meet their raw material requirement and to reduce their dependency on other sources. But for domestic steel makers, it is very important that miners like NMDC and OMC and few others in Karnataka sector, they ramp up their production plan. And I think OMC, I was just listening to Mr. Mohanty, OMC has already increased its production capacity to somewhere around, I think, just above 30 million tons, including Jilin, Langa, Tola, and Guwali. And they are now planning to double their capacity. Now, like OMC, NMDC has also very ambitious plans in the near future. We have plans to ramp up our existing capacity. Presently, in FY21, we produced around 34 million tons, and in FY22, we have very ambitious plans to produce around minimum of 45 million tons. And going ahead, we want to go up to 67 million tons by FY25 and then 100 million tons by FY30. That is the plan of NMDC. Now, if you go to the production outlook of India, this after the domestic market has come out of the shadows of the pandemic, and now we have started gaining momentum. All the the pre-pandemic levels have been surpassed by now, and I think the momentum will continue in FY23 also. Now the GDP projections are around 8%, and I think iron and steel sector will also grow at the same pace. And I think that's all. I'm really happy that NMDC is doing quite well at the moment, and we have still a month to go. By February end, we are almost reaching the 40 million ton mark, and I'm extremely happy to share that we had a extremely very good growth of about 26% so far, and we are quite hopeful that we'll continue the same momentum in this remaining month of FY22 and also FY23 onwards. So that's all from my side. I'm sorry that I didn't have a detailed presentation with me. Whatever questions are there, I think I will take those questions from you, Nishta.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir, for highlighting the outlook of NMDC iron ore production by FY25. And yes, some of the questions which are pertaining to NMDC, I would like to put up for you. First question, that like as you already mentioned that we are targeting minimum 45 million tons iron ore production in FY22. How do you see, I mean, these additional volumes to come up, like from the existing mines, or ramp up at existing mines, or some new mines that are planning to come up in Chhattisgarh?
This entire production of 45 million tons is from the existing mines. Last year, our Donimalai mines was not operating. So we are adding 6 to 6.5 million tons in Donimalai. So if you add this 34, last year 34 plus 6.5, it goes up to 40.5. And remaining 4.5 to 5 million tons will be by ramping up our activities. We are adding to the last year's production figures.
Okay, and sir, like we were hearing that NMDC's Kumaraswamy mines is due to expire later this year. So do you see any way it impacting the production volumes, or it will be again put up for renewal?
No, we have already put up our papers for renewal, and they are I think they are on the very advanced stage, and we are quite hopeful that we'll be getting the extension of the Kumaraswamy iron ore mine, and our production activities will continue as it is.
Okay. Sir, also are any pellet capacity ramp up plans in cards for NMDC, both at Chhattisgarh as well as in Karnataka?
See, presently in Karnataka, we have a 1.2 million ton pellet plant, which is already in operation. Actually, we started the production sometime in 2017-18, but because of some technical issues and all, we are not operating at the full capacity. But I think we'll be going up to 60 to 70% capacity by FY23, and by probably FY24, we should be achieving the 100% capacity in that year. And we are also coming up with a 2 million ton pellet plant in Jagdalpur. Then we have also some ambitious plans to go into pellet production. Things are now being worked out, whether we'll be doing it in Jagdalpur or we'll be doing it in Visakhapatnam. Things are in the final stage of discussion and finalization. Okay. So at appropriate time, I will be able to give you the details.
Sure.
Yeah.
So a couple of questions coming in the chat box from the audience.
Yeah.
They say, where do you see NMDC's production by 2030? And what's your evacuation plan from mainly Baladila sector, where there is restrictions of rake movements from the sector?
See, as I have already told our plans for 2000 up to 2030, we are we are gearing up to scale up our production to 100 million tons by 2030. So, while on the subject, I would like to say that suppose we go touch a figure of 100 billion tons, then we have to acquire some new mines and operational some existing mines with us. So we have this deposit 4 and 13 in Baladila sector, which are doing along with the Chhattisgarh Mineral Development Corporation. We are very sure that we'll be operationalizing these two mines in the next 1 or 2 years. So that will be adding a capacity of around 15 to 20 million tons, and uh, we are also hopeful of acquiring 1 or 2 mines in Odisha and Jharkhand also in the near future. We don't know when it will come to our fold, but we are very hopeful that we'll be getting 1 or 2 leases in Odisha and Jharkhand. So this way, and as regards the evacuation plans which you just mentioned, I would say that as you might be knowing that we are already working on on the project of doubling of KK line, which is almost 80% over by now. So there are about 30 to 40 kilometers stretch near Dantewada, which is the only bottleneck presently. So once that 30-40 kilometers stretch is completed, then probably we'll be, drastically will be increasing our evacuation capacity. So in addition to that, we have plans to do the evacuation through slurry pipeline. So this slurry pipeline is being planned in 2 packages. I mean 2 installments. The first project of slurry pipeline is in advanced stage of completion, and in FY23 or early FY24, I think the first phase of slurry pipeline from Bailadila to Jagdalpur will be over. So after that, we are planning to complete the second phase from Jagdalpur to Visakhapatnam in next 2 to 3 years maximum. So in that, our capacity that we are planning to evacuate is around 15 million tons in that mode of evacuation. Then in addition to that, we are planning to have intermediate stockpiles. Like we have very limited stocking capacity in our existing mines. So what we are planning that we'll have intermediate stockpiles along the railway line of this Jagdalpur to Visakhapatnam, or even from Bailadila to Visakhapatnam, so that whenever there is a production stoppage or this evacuation stoppage due to heavy rains or any other reason, then what we can do, we can just slowly keep our excess production of stock in these stockpiles, intermediate stockpiles, and then at opportune moments we can transport them to the destination. So these are the things that we are planning.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. One question is that regarding Indian Railways allotment, are they
Yeah.
gearing up to provide around 25 to 30 rakes a day on both the KK line?
See, presently, if you see the average of last year, it was around 14.5 or so, FY21. So this year, we have gone up to average of 18, and by end of March, I think we may touch 18.5 or even 19 also. So once that I told you that 25 to 30 kilometers stretch near Dantewada is over, I think railway would give us minimum of about 24 rakes per day.
Right. And any light, sir, you would like to throw on the NMDC's Nagarnar plant update and its raw material sourcing pattern, how we have planned to do it?
See, Nagarnar project, we have already started the commissioning activities. In January, we have started lighting the battery of the Coco One. I think one single battery has been lit up, and the heating process is going on now. It's almost 2 months now. So as per the technicalities and all, it requires about 90 to 100 days of heating, and then this coal pushing will start. So as per our plans, the coal pushing would start sometime in the second week of April or third week of April. So going ahead, we have plans to start our this blast furnace in the month of June or July. So as regards the sourcing of raw material, yes, the entire iron ore requirement will be from our mines only. In fact, we have already started dispatching our iron ore to our steel plant. Incidentally, it was only day before yesterday the first truck has reached the steel plant.
Great. That's a great development, sir.
Yeah.
Right. And any other recent update that you would like to share, unless we have some more questions in the box related to NMDC or any plans that you would like to share, or any outlook
Yeah.
for India's iron ore production outlook that you would see.
Yeah, we NMDC, as you know, has always been a big contributor in the overall iron ore production in the country, and we are regularly working on it, how to at least maintain the tempo, or go beyond the abilities that we have. So now once we touch this 45 million tons mark, our next target will be to bridge that 50 million tons in the FY 23. And then I think there is no looking back from there. Once you touch 50 million tons, we are quite hopeful that by FY 2030, we'll be touching 100 million tons mark. And that is the way we are going to contribute to the total iron ore and steel sector in the country.
Oh, fine, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insights, as well as taking up all the Q&A that came in from the audience as well as from our side. So, well, I think we have taken up all majority of the questions that came into the box, and which brings this webinar to a close. I would like to thank once again Padhy sir for managing your time slot and being a part of this webinar. A big thank you to all our panelists, viewers for joining in, and we hope that you really enjoyed the session. Also, we would like to extend our gratitude to our supporting associations, ISA and Ministry of Steel, and our sponsors, NMDC and JSW Steel. This is your host, Nishtha Mukherjee, signing out for the day. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.